She be mountain, she be sea, she be corrugated iron. She be poverty on a 45-minute train ride from the northern suburbs to the city, no third-class ticket, unemployment, or jail time, the penalty. She be hoping to beat a system, trying to make a living at a loss in a city selective of visibility. Her ancestry only ghosts lingering in memory. She be sackman, she be sage, samosas on discount, sex workers fighting for rights. She be chewing the shorthand of policy. She be klopser, she be drag queen. Yes, queen. She be Christmas lights in Adderley, heritage in Buitenkant. She be silence along sea. She be pride, she be protest, plagued by nympholepsy for land. Too irate for pristine, too secular for church, too mindful of structure, too obscene for conventions. She's been done too wrong and loved too strong to know that mountain, sea, corrugated iron, poverty, the place where clouds gather, is her poetry. She be underground hip-hop, piano bar jazz, long street nights laced on a summer beat, trying to legalize weed. Down Babylon, burn Babylon. She be observatory, chill street. She be Ganesh, Tagore's, previously a touch of madness, but turned the corner and landed on Nuttall Street. She be a grounding session, an open mic, shade inches, long beers. She be dancing in a galaxy. She be community solidarity. She be a four-piece Gatsby. She be you, she be me, she be poetry, a place of peace. She be poetry. Good evening, everybody. How are you? Oh, I'm so excited. My name is Rochelle Kirsten. I'll be your MC for the evening. So we are here to give you some poetry from our wonderful anthology called Beyond Truth's Edge, which has been put together by the Cape Cultural Collective. So the Cape Cultural Collective, for those of you who do not know, is an intergenerational, non-sexist artist entity that exists in the city. And what has happened is that we've gotten together, let's say, every Sunday for years and years and years and years and years in the Slave Church on Long Street, and it's just been a variety show of poets, singers, the choirs that the organization has, and everybody that's gathered there. We've got Bunty Evil walking ladies, and this is a archival treasure of poets that exist in the city. And so we're here tonight to share with you what this piece of history means, but also it's a snippet of what Cape Town means and what art means and what art means against the odds in general. So before we continue, we do want to pay homage first to two of our individuals that have passed this year. One of our poets, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It's too early to cry in the show. Primrose Magwebe, who was a fantastic poet, who's also in our anthology, and she's just contributed immensely to poetry in the city. She had her own organization called Prim Pro Poetry, and also she was just regal and beautiful, and rest in peace, Tandwa Sam. And then we're speaking about Noel Daniels as well, who was a huge supporter of the Cape Cultural Collective, and who also was the CEO of the Cornerstone Institute, which really brought conversations to the city, but also explored arts in its many ways. So I'm not going to talk too much anymore. I want to bring on the poets. I want you to experience this miracle of a show this evening, because we have such amazing people, and the fact that they are all in one book on one stage is just mind-blowing. So I have to say, let me just take a beat, because as a young poet, being able to witness someone like this in time alongside you and someone being celebrated consistently for their work is just amazing. And so the first poet this evening that's gracing our stage, she has, through her poetry, her self-published poetry, made history in our country by bringing back Sarah Bartman from the French through one poem. She's published multiple books, and she continues to be a voice of cultural change and also cementing the Afrikaans identity within the brown identity. So everybody, without further ado, please make some noise for Auntie Diana Ferrus.
Good evening, everybody. It's great to be here. The dry days of my childhood. I often wander into the days, hidden in the forest, and search through the woods for the cuckoo's nest, only to find the sawn of branches and the old-grown tree on which many of our secrets lie. The landscape is different. The forest is fading. Behind the naked oak trees, the mountain stands dry. Why do I dream of the drought, the desiccated days that had us bound to a spot in the ground where we fervently prayed for water to be? Why didn't the sun scorch the injustice stamped on our bodies, marked in our minds? Why weren't we waxed like mummies, preserved in black, one day to be resurrected, as reborn, as saved? Was it in God's plan that separate development at its height during the 60s should be accompanied by a drought so fierce it spoke in fire, blazing away the hopes of the doomed? Oh, the dry days of my childhood. The barren field that was my mother's body, the suck-dry steps, my father's feet, the unborn thoughts, my aborted dreams. Do not ask me to forget how it was. Do not ask me to forget my past. Ask of my dreams, envisioning my mother in a grass-green dress and me at her nipples gurgling a contented baby sigh. Ask of my dreams, imagining my father crafting his talents into a water-holding bay. Oh, the dry days of my childhood. New. It's 10:15, an old day moving into a new morning. She is counting her years, her days, the past. She was told not to count into the future. There is not enough, but she feels new, like a dress, bought at a price that no one could guess. She sees the cotton pickers, hands stung by thorns. She sees the yarn spun by the spinners, patterns woven by the weavers, and the cutter delicately cutting around her neck, her shoulders, low down, and the machinist gently stitching until she sees herself. She, a new dress, not to be measured in time. Laat julle my kan sien, man. Ek verlang na jazz. Ek verlang na jazz. In 'n rookbedek warme vertrek, met die smaak van bier en Count Basie poses vast in die muur. Die man of vrou wat hul oë op my lippe hou, maar saggies aan hul partners klou, En die tyd wat loop van 12:15 tot iets oor 2. En ek wat huiswaarts tree, het wat verleë, want die catch van die aand kom 1 keer 'n maand en het tog so beleef op papier geskryf. Sien jou weer, miskien 'n volgende keer. O, ek verlang na jazz en 'n rookbedek, warme vertrek, waar ek my heupe swaai en die aandag van die flirts na my toe draai. En wanneer ek die bottel teen my lippe lig, gooi ek my flikvloei na hulle terug. Maar ek bly by die huis, want computers het my solitaire. En ek speel van iets oor 12 tot 2:15 en dink aan die tyd van heel nag Jolijt, toe gangsters en druglords nog babies was. Baie dankie, thank you.
Can we make some noise for Auntie Di, please? She's so lekker as a person and as a poet. So I'm going to keep the show going, and I want to introduce to you Zenariah Barends. So she is one of the founding members of the Cape Cultural Collective, and she was actually part of the first organizing committee that put together the first anthology that the Cape Cultural Collective has, which is called Truth Edge. This one is beyond Truth Edge, so we're there now. So interesting about Zeni is that she was an investigator for the TRC. She was the head of independent media, and she is interested in a lot of things. She's also known for being a DJ at the Cape Cultural Events, fundraising, organizing events. So I just want you to be humbled by someone that has been part of starting this legacy in Cape Town. So everybody, please put your hands together for Zenariah Barends.
Good evening. Ode to a Wild Woman for Karima Brown. How will we be in this world without you? O wild woman, O fierce spirit, sharpened to pierce the hidden veil, driven by your uncompromising vigilance, you traveled the unenviable path of the hero. From behind your framed eyes, you roared with a smile, springing from your incisive mind, laced with wisdom. Your questions unveiled forbidden cities, rendered visible spiraling castles built on blood, made public avaricious deceit, unmasked the oozing slime of our country's underbelly, pointed out who would be Ozymandias amongst us. The storyteller tells of women who run amongst wolves, of curious women who leap from wily traps that would ensnare them, who dart from those who would imprison them. Wild, wonderful women, sisters, mothers, daughters, lovers, blissfully dancing as they rip the spiteful corset that constrains them, fighting and loving hard, who cherish their children as life itself. Oh, how we grieve, wild woman. This is not the end. You watered your garden well, my love. Precious flowers bloom as holy tears fall. A river flows to the boundless ocean. So take a deep rest when you find that soft shore. Your life's work, so profound, will shine golden like the brightest of stars. Here you are. You have finally arrived after a winding detour, across cities, loves, and many lives. In the backyard of our mountain, you tap on my door. Your inebriated words recur with a certain sameness, though they have traveled across many a year. These seductive sounds, an invitation to believe, drip, drip, dripping, the promise of scattered crumbs, touch the wakeful edges of my broken sleep. Like dreams that swim in a river deep, here you are, swaying to festive bells, a fleeting visit. You will disappear until life-giving force calls you home again next year. This is an unpublished poem, so it's draft, for Noel Daniels. It's called My First No. Finally alone. We've been drifting, you and I, as we often have. The tides of life always brought us back. It seemed that time would be our constant friend. We would rebound from distance, forgetting that in this infinite, in this finite coil, living ends, often abruptly, without warning, despite the red flashes that signal caution. My darling, I was cross, silently fuming, pretending otherwise. You were missing my birthday for the first time. I thought we would have time for anger to turn to joy once more, to set our world aright. Love unwavering shields me from the what-ifs and mortality's intrusive questions. This time, you slipped away before we could circle back on an incoming wave. This tenuous thread will not let you go. Your seat at the Eid table is reserved. Cups of creamy booba will be drunk in your honor. Aromatic biryani will be cooked with love and tenderness. The food will be more flavorful, infused with the spice of your dynamic life. No, you squeezed the juice of days, drank it with gusto, shared your exuberance, love, and wisdom with the world that hid your sometime loneliness. Wrapped in a fluffy blanket, we cold still entered in the folds, failed to warm you while you embraced us all. The melodies abound, are ever present. Music shall play, we shall dance in the open and invisible spaces as we writhe in grief and joy. We shall sing, write poetry, paint your life in all its colors. We shall celebrate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zeni. So let's just keep it going. The wonderful thing about the Cape Cultural Collective is that we have new and young voices coming in all the time. And this also makes it special because there's a continuation of this culture that exists in our city. And so with that said, I want to introduce one of our poets that have also joined the Cape Cultural Collective, but also has been part of the steering committee of putting this book together. They've been part of the organization Lingua Franca as a young poet and won many slams here on this very stage in Cape Town. So accompanying him this evening is also a guitarist that's been a long-standing member of the CCC. So please, everybody, women, men, gender non-conforming individuals, put your hands together for Vusumuzi Mpofu and Alton Gosler.
Your open book, can I get a hoo-ha? Open book, can I get a hoo-ha? Open book, can I get a hoo-ha? You can do better than that, come on. Yo, open book, can I get a hoo-ha? Open book, can I get a hoo-ha? Open book, can I get a hoo-ha? Hoo-ha! Hoo-ha! One more time, can I get a hoo-ha? Open book, can I get a hoo-ha? Open book, can I get a hoo-ha? Hoo-ha! Hoo-ha! You're the stuff that legends are made from. Yes, you listening to my voice are the stuff that legends are made from. Look at how far you have come. Look at how far you are going. From the rubble to royalty, this poem was written for you. Yes, you are the stuff that legends are made from. Tina, sivele bantwini bomzabalazo. Sivele bantwini bomhlaba, abantu belanga lenyanga, abantu benkanyezi lenkwenkwezi zikaNkulunkulu. Tina, sivele bantwini bomlilo ovutha be. Uzungawothi, uyachisa ungawulokoti. We come from abantu of the crackling fire, abantu who came alive around the burning, abantu who set the air alight with blazing voices, abantu who chanted for freedom from the front lines, spreading struggle songs from yesteryears like a wildfire igniting all the way up to touch the skies. Harambe, tiyo, 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 mama, tiyo, 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 tiyo. Tiyo sihlangene, tiyo, tiyo ishubile, tiyo, 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 mama, tiyo, tiyo. Ngivele bantwini bamandulo. I am from the prophets who told you about tomorrow, yesterday, today. I am the legendary poet with his life on the line. It is hectic 9-9. I want our stories to be told. I want our songs to be sung by the children. Go on then, tell the children that they are the stuff that legends are made from. And so are you. Kindly say it with me in 3, 2, 1. I am the stuff that legends are made from. In 3, 2, 1. What are you? Angeke, say it louder. Say it prouder. That's what's up. You are the stuff that legends are made from. Dango. Yeah. Honestly scripting, I have totally forgotten how my father's face is. Was he a tall man, just as I see him in blurred memories? Was he a wrong man? Mama says he broke some promises. Mama says he broke some bones. I do not know which was more painful, the broken doors, walls, bones, or promises. Was he a bad man? I want to know, man. I have totally forgotten how my father's face is. Mama, won't you please tell your son what Ubaba looked like? Mama points towards the mirror. Mama says nothing. The son hears and understands everything the mother does not say. When I was 19 years old, I came face to face with the man in the mirror. He washed his face by the sink, closed the tape, and then he stood in front of the glass, reflecting. In the mirror, we looked into each other's eyes, and all I could see was another broken boy burning into manhood. He was chain-smoking cigarettes up to no good. He hated smoking, yet he loved being high. He hated smoking, yet he loved being high. What did he hate? And what did he love? He hated smoking because the clouds of smoke did not precipitate any rain. Not a single drop of rain to extinguish his pain. The smoke and mirror did not fool me when he said he was okay with turning into a man when the one that was meant to show him the way was absent. Honestly scripting, in all honesty, I have totally forgotten how my father's face is. Was he a tall man, just as I see him in blurry memories? Was he a wrong man? Mama says he broke some promises. Mama says he broke some bones. I don't know which was more painful, the broken doors, walls, bonds, or promises. Was he a bad man? I just want to know, man. I've totally forgotten how my father's face is. So it's for all the men, my khutman, the uncles, the brasses, Majita, Buffett. We are not comfortable talking about how we feel inside. We avoid pouring out our emotions. Amajitam would rather bottle it all inside and screw the cap on tightest. This is not a stereotype. Inside my dudes lays gallons of ripened emotions bottled in a cold darkness. Inside my fellas lays feelings that have fermented into a toxic poison corroding from within. The toxic poison inside is leaking outside through the cracks in our brittle masculinity. Please note, danger, khafar, ingozi. These boys are fragile, handled with care, love, and the truth. My brother, talk about it. Do not drown in yourself. Stop trying so hard not to spill all of that toxic poison out of yourself. Yan, talk about it, my bro. Write about it, my nigga. Sing about it, I choose it. Do something about it, good dude. There's way too many women 6 feet under because of angry men. There's way too many angry men behind bars because they did not talk about it. There's way too many angry men amongst us and we're not talking about it. Prefer to spill it all out. Pour all of yourself out of yourself. All of yourself out of yourself. Please say it with me. All of yourself out of yourself. Thank you.
Can we make some noise for Vusi and Alton, everybody? Listen, I've been rushing this emceeing because they're like, you have an hour. So when I come out here, every time I'm like, guara, 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 get the next vote on. But actually, I'm going to take some time now because I've been so good in guara, guara, guaring that I can chill now. So this poet, listen, I met this individual way before all of the other poets met this individual. I don't care what they say. And it was a very unexpected encounter because we were on, I don't know what it was that we were doing, but we were kind of like cityscaping. So we were on this bus and we'd go to various places in the city and we'd sit there and we'd write about it. I don't even know, I think it was some person that's not even from here that got us all together that made us do this thing. And there she was, this shy individual, and that seemed so soft. And, you know, almost like they were so scared to speak, right? And then the next time I encountered this individual, I just couldn't believe that I had been spending time with someone that was so amazing and I was acting like la-di-da. She took my breath away, literally. And ever since then, every time I listen to her, I'm like, thank God for this individual in poetry. And so she's been part of many poetry organizations, and obviously the Cape Cultural Collective as well. She's been part of Lingua Franca Cypher. She has performed with an entity called Riot is in Session. And I'm like, of all of the things that we deserve in this life, we definitely deserve Afeefa Omar. So please put your hands together for Afeefa Omar.
Hi. Winter mornings after Tshepo Molefe. I remember those long winter mornings from my childhood, stretched with mother wringing dry white cloth diapers, carefully hand-washed and hung in the early hours. The cold crawling through dry skin to numb her fingers, hands that were always scraping together and smoothing the world around us. This is why the wrinkles on Mama's hands belie her age. Now when I hold them in mine, I remember those crisp mornings, days quiet and filled with Mama's heartache, mist slowly invading everything to make us feel foreign, the basket that was forgotten overnight covered in slugs, my baby sister dozing off peacefully inside the house. When the walls begin to close in and the world comes to a standstill now, I remember those distant, desolate days, the languid movement of time through unfathomable gray. I imagine how difficult it must have been for Mama, finding out she left an entire world behind for a man whose heart was more calloused than those cruel winter mornings. Crow poems in 5 parts. Why was I always searching for something I could not name? Grief frozen in my blood became a yearning for a different world, the old city and this one meshing in my mind to become one sad country. I could not recall the language of the sea or of scorched sand, but sometimes I felt it move just under my skin, small like an abandoned child. Hands stained the color of crow's feathers, clap a rhythm at a wedding, and the past stirs a sweet melancholy into the room, like smoke unfurling from hair. I grew up with women who knew silence so intimately it altered their memories and their names. I was always afraid of disappearing or drowning. I thought nobody would know. Part 2. I have never allowed an anthem into my mouth or let a border pass through to my heart. I come from 2 countries, but both draw the blood of their girls before they are ready. Both are haunted by lost people and stories. Both have long waged a war on softness. Sometimes I dream of all the boys swallowed alive by this city's malice, the tears they were not allowed to cry, staining their faces the color of dark ink, their lungs a collapsing night. What lonely and starless sky do they prey upon? Boys born of sad men carry the smoke of cities that have no space for them, inhale silence deep and slithering from pavement cracks. Sometimes I think of my little brother, already a foot taller than me, walking us home from late-night gigs, his shoulders weaponized to keep the world from caving in. My own soft soldier, stale grief yellowing his eyes, but once upon a time, he would laugh so uncontrollably that when we played outside, the neighbors had to hush us in from their kitchen windows. Now the absence swims thick in his irises, and every day that passes is a day he looks more like smoke, like the men we already buried. 3. So what use is a country if there is no one to celebrate it? I never looked for sustainability in economy analysis or tall buildings that would not home my people. I looked for it in unraveling the secrets of my father's generation, peeling untold stories from pavement cracks, collecting them from borders and abandoned ruins, from conversations with the ghosts who hold custody over repurposed buildings. Like a mad woman unseen and observing everything, I wandered the streets with one ear to the ground, tracing the scars on strangers' bodies with my eyes and imagining the invisible ones in their hearts, asking how each happened, which conflict, which era, which government, which alliance, what grief and emotional plight left this mark. I heard stories of lost men who looked like my grandfather forgetting their language in this country during the World War when all black men were just black men. Now I find them in the faces of unsuspecting boys on campus who consider me foreign, who consider me with suspicion. Now I find them in the faces of unsuspecting boys on campus who consider me with suspicion, who think me a bloody foreigner but cannot tell me where they really come from. Part 4. In the stories, I catch snippets of things lost and recounted. Ma once wed to light before a war made her widowed. My father's hands, beautiful like a pianist, stained charcoal from years of tab and molding a world for us with his bare hands, only for it to crumple. The thing about stability is this. Once it shatters, there is never smooth mirror again. In its place, I am trying to build a mosaic from memories and evaporated dreams, trying to find my reflection in pieces of a country and a people whose gaze burns like acid sometimes. Part 5. Crows circle the sun. Crows circle the sun in a mesmerizing dance, and I wonder what they are praying about. What stories do they tell about us in their flocks? I teach myself to breathe and feel the sand under my toes. I wish on a lineage of healing. When I have my own daughters, I will not decide for them what they cannot know about the past. I will teach them to touch a wound where it aches the most, because medicine requires courage. I will tell them that pain and culture have one thing in common. Both have to be dissected. I teach myself now and will teach them one day that wisdom is not an artifact you stumble upon, but a muscle you hone each time you allow the gentle unfolding of curiosity. I will teach them that they are each a country and they can never be home if there are no people first. Inherited city. To my future children, I bequeath this continent. Borders lowered and turned into a soft pile of dust, smooth sand under steady feet. Your birthright is a country of flowers, a city that holds you even with your complicated lineage, the way the city has held my heart, held its arms out for all of the lost people who found solace in it. Your heirloom is this land and all its wormholes, portals hidden in plain sight between city skyscrapers, where people here resemble people from far away places, and differences are muted while life happens. I reimagine you a country that does not cage its doves, a bequest of waters that pool precious histories, mountains that stand guard to protect against the unknown, a nation that preserves compassion over everything else, a mouth that can hum many languages, and a spirit that rises above its fears. Thank you.
Right? You get what I mean, right? I wasn't lying, right? Make some noise for Afeefa Omar, everybody. Damn it. This is called Tonganelong. I wrote it. Imagine. My tongue sounds like the Transvaal in dialect. By a place I've never been, never seen, it is foreign. My mouth rounds and stretches as if it had swallowed a whole farmer. That farmer, the one who owned the land where my grandfather labored. That one who stole the land in the Boerland that my uncle owned. It sounds like treason to myself, nothing like my mother's tongue, almost like my mother's tongue, but standardized, fast-fed, too light, too heavy, too instructional to be my own. My tongue betrays my skin. My skin is enemy to my words. My words sound like triggers. Like 76, like laws built on sermons, like generational psychosis. I wish my tongue a more digestible Afrikaans, a African chance to unswallow the sound of pain. If it was more Cape Flats than Free State, Vrystaat would mean something different than vermaak, for compliments, for ghosts who do not belong here in my mouth from myself. It would mean code for survival. Too much mandatory, textbook, and compulsory have undone this tongue, my mother's tongue, not my mother tongue, and now I carry only strangers in my mouth from places I have heard of and never been to, that walk trauma from my mouth to your ears, too well, te goed, te suiwer, to Afrikaans. Me, I'm also a poet sometimes. Okay, so I wanted to give you Afrikaans poem because one of the next poets is like, whenever I hear this poet, like whenever they come on stage, all I want to do is like move my body. It's like, I know it's a weird thing to think of when you think of a poet, but it's just like, I think like this person has like guma in their mouth and in their soul, right? Because they can make you like wikkel and vai just by doing poetry, which is really cool. So I've spent some time with this individual, and they are one of my favorite Afrikaans poets because of their ability to just make the language come alive and make you dance with it. And also they're revolutionary. So myself, this individual, and Primrose Magwebi, the late Primrose Magwebi, we went to Pretoria together for the Indigenous Knowledge Conference, right? And it was the most beautiful experience because that's when you cement these relationships and you hear people's stories. So this individual particularly, he's going to hate me for this, but like, he was underground. He used to be one of those people back in the day when apartheid was happening that used to print pamphlets on the sly for organizing, you know, like that's how cool he is. But also he's been part of one of the founding members of the CCC, and he was also part of the first anthology, which is called Truth's Edge. So everybody, without further ado, I hope you feel like I feel when you hear him. Put your hands together for Christopher Ferndale, and also accompanied by Alton Gosner.
So honger vir 'n revolusie, soos 'n gevangene in 'n oranje oorpak. Sy mense moet alles oranje maak en steek die land aan die brand in een blitsige oranje vlam vanaand. Môre, as die nuwe dag opkom, is alles swart verbrand. As die son sak oor die horison, dan is alles nog helder in die tronk. Die gevangene droom oor sy oorwinning, dronk gejuig oor die brandstigting en die verwoesting. Die land is weer verkil, vergryp, verplunder en geryp. Die gevangene slaap rustig in sy staatsbeskermde kokon. Die verwoeste dorpe en die mense bekommer hulself elke dag oor die toekoms as die nuwe son opkom. Ergens sing 'n stem, eers sag, dan helder in 'n koor. Daar is hoop, daar is hulp, daar is alles waar die liefde blom. Môre, as die son in vryheid opkom, dan maak ons die swart verbrande verwoesting skoon, as ons saam oor die liefde vir ons land droom. Daar is hoop, daar is hulp, Daar is liefde waaroor ons kan droom. Daar is hulp. Daar is hoop. Daar is liefde. These streets are tainted with bullet shells and blood. You only walk it if you have guts. The sun rises at 2 minutes to 6 and falls at exactly 2 minutes past 8. And via 7 gunshots, it's too late. So pace your steps and greet the captain, the hitman, the runners and the guards of Main Street. Was salute! These streets are tainted with bullet shells and blood. You only walk it if you have guts. The sun rises at 2 minutes to 6 and falls at exactly 2 minutes past 8. Via 7 gunshots, it's too late. The taxi driver jingles his change and takes a long calculated drag on his cigarette scape as he shouts, "No regore Edwin Mowbray, Cape Town." On this side of town he minds his P's and Q's, the way he crosses his fingers and his FU's. The passage is safe both for a couple of bob and a cigarette scape. Children rush to school for food and safety. Mothers hope that their behavior will change from gangs, drugs, and streetwise tricks. These streets are tainted with bullet shells and blood. You only walk it if you have guts. The sun rises at 2 minutes to 6 and falls at exactly 2 minutes past 8. And via 7 gunshots, it's too late. So pace your steps and greet the captain, the hitman, the runners, and the guards of Main Street. A man in a black suit clutches his Bible like a second hide, greets every man, every woman, every child, and silently prays that God will protect his life, his community, and his strife. These streets are tainted with bullet shells and blood. You only walk it if you have guts. The sun rises at 2 minutes to 6 and falls at exactly 2 minutes past 8. And via 7 gunshots, it's too late. So pace your steps and greet the captain, the hitman, the runners, and the guards of Main Street. It's welfare pension payout day, and pensioners hope that they will survive the gauntlet of the moneylenders outside. The sun is up and there's nowhere to hide. Walkers hold up their wares in plastic bags and sing and shout sales tunes. Hier's jou jam, tomaties, jou appels en jou guavas merm. Friet jou dik en op jou kerm. These streets are tainted with bullet shells and blood. You only walk it if you have guts. The sun rises at 2 minutes to 6 and falls at exactly 2 minutes past 8. And via 7 gunshots, it's too late. So pace your steps and greet the captain, the hitman, the runners, and the guards of Main Street. Was salute! Yes, yes, rainbow mense, gemaak onhulpbron met silipkopese. Sy's 'n kwailappie, sommer koef, op jou dagskrif, jou bedels op jou vrugtefees, jou lekker dans op jazz, ek sal jou, so maar is met jou, gebraaide snoek, jou balans op, nuwejaarsdag klop so op skop, heita! Yes, ja. My tekkies 'n stuk in hulp, ek het 'n gat in my broek. Ek soek 'n chop om my pa jeans skoene en 'n duiterkoep. En ek kyk die liewe van sy poepel af op, toe taboe by sy kop. Want ek nog moet walk en my way nog die moet ook. Jy, ek steel die trein van Kriefgat tot by Cape Town, Kaapstad. Ek check die situation uit. Hey, die taxi drivers en die brokers krio die mekaar waardes. Mix masala op by my kanala music centers in Kaparans, samosas en tatsies, plomme, kumahara en exotic plantjes. My tekkies, As te kan geloop, ek het 'n gat in my broek. Ek soek 'n job om 'n paar jeans skoene en 'n dui te koop. En ek kyk die liewe van sy poepolf op. Tot taboe by sy kop, wat ek nog moet walk en my way nog teen moet talk. Ek kom by die grandpa uit die merm klaar. The parking boys are so demanding and of. En die blurry taxi drivers is so onbeskof. My tikkies is te kan geloop. Ek het 'n gat in my broek. Ek soek 'n job om 'n paar jeans skoene en 'n dui te koop. Ek kom aan die Edlistraat, ek check in mooi goed in die feestes van okay bazaar, ek is honger. Situation maak my kwaad. Ek protesto toe by die parlement. Trok my nuus deur die tralies en in my mind skrik, "Mister, ek soek 'n job, 'n dui en 'n tak. Julle hou meetings, bla by 'n twak." Die selfontring aan die mister praat. Ja, wara, ja, wara. Buy some blue chips and move some stocks too. Ja, wara. Sy flossheims en sy BM die blink. Ek skree, yes ja, jou gat stink. Terug by Edlistraat, tot by die stasie. Maak asof die situasie my nie raak nie. Jy, as my klusse lak op by my kanala music centers in Kaparings, samosas en daltjies, blomme, kumare en exotic plantjies. My tikkies is te kan geloop. Ek het 'n gat in my broek. Ek soek 'n job om 'n paar jeans skoene en 'n dui te koop. En ek kyk die liewe van sy poepolf op, tot taboe by sy kop, wat ek nog moet walk en my way nog teen moet talk. Yes, ja! Yes, ja! Yes, julle rainbow mense, gemaak onder blommetslapkopbeese. Sy's 'n wailappie, toe maar koef op jou tas, jou perels op jou vrachtenvis, jou lekker dans op jazz, ek sal jou so maar in de test, jou gebreide slip, Hollandse dop, nieuwe jaar, maar kop ze op kop, hey, ja!
Chris Ferndale, everybody. Chris laat my so lekker lag. Yeah, and it's also like, I wish I could do those moves, but I'm not there yet. You know, actually make some more noise for Chris Ferndale, everybody. That was so lekker. Okay, so this is our final poet for this evening. And listen, friends, the first time I saw this individual, I remember I was in Stellenbosch. They were having a poetry festival there. I can't even remember the name of the festival, but I remember her show. It was called Stone Words, and this individual was there with no hair, all dressed in white, and she had the accompaniment of Glenn Ardenser, and also, you know, I'm forgetting everybody's names this evening, but it was just such a magnificent show, and the way she commanded her audience, the way she commanded her words, I remember, like the friend next to me, I said, I'm like, one day when I grow up, I want to do that, number one, and I want to be like her. I don't think I'm any of those things, but it's okay. The beautiful thing is that through my poetry journey, I've been able to witness and be witness and spend time and have conversations and share and exchange with this magnificent individual. She has published 2 poetry anthologies. One is called Beyond the Delivery Room, and the other one is called Thicker Than Shadow. She's also been one of the individuals that was sent by the Cape Culture Collective alongside Chris Ferndale and Tony Stewart to Paris for a performance called Uhari. And I have so immense respect and just awe for the poetry. Everybody, please put your hands together for one of my heroes, Khadija Heeger.
Hello. I just need those, yes. Elizabeth Maria Heeger, nee Adams. Loretta Teresa Thomas, nee Heeger. A little bit beyond truth's edge, you start to realize that life is a fragile thing. Silk thread snagged on a thorn, ash caught on the wind, sob shape-shifting into a tear, a heart stopped in mid-beat, the sound of an empty room waiting for a voice. It comes and it goes every second, easily. It hangs in its balance. Stilt walker now, tightrope walker then, insisting, receding, insisting, receding. Death is its condition. A fathomless echo pronounced in every day we live. I miss the vines on your hands, threading a blood secret under your skin. I miss the mist of perfumes claiming fabric in your cupboard, the sage of an endless childhood waltzing to the love of women like you. Women whose arms hold the entire world. I am a tall climb of a tree because you planted me so lovingly. I am the home you made of me. Half of this is dedicated to some of the women in my family. I grew up surrounded by women who were too strong for their own good, wild women. My mother, Isles or Elise, stood very close to the ground and comfortably fit under my arm. Yet she was enormous. She flouted social convention and danced her own tune. My aunts raised their children alone, tanned in the nude on rooftops, played darts and drank whiskey. Their tongues were not the soothing, sacrificial picture of motherhood we've come to accept as normal. They were potent, daunting. Men wanted them. But you had to be a man to live with these women, or some kind of woman. They went to church every Sunday, my grandmother insisted, Stations of the Cross every night before bed. Yet their God was a fiery, tremendous God. You could see it in their scent. They are virile women. I get my let's kick up the dirt attitude from these women. These frowned upon women who follow the wind and the fire inside. Life for them was not easy. That's what we do to humans who own themselves. We filter them out, rule them unfit, slowly, deliberately exclude them from respectable, because we fear them, mirrors. For Noel and Prim, I half expect to see Prim walking in here, Noel walking in here. And of course for all of you. Tussen die wervels van die lange berg, tot diep in die palm van die kerom gekerf, op die tong van slanghoeksteen versoen, is die naam van Gam, met grond en lig geroem. In die baarmoede van die brede, uit salms van Gam, koi en Nguni gelas, kweel die naam Kaapstad nog ver, nog fijn, nog sag. 'n ander naam vertaal haar saad, ongelee geskiedenis beraad. En Hessekwa, en Kainekwa, en Namekwa, en Ainekwa, tot daar by Kwe en Koen. Hier lê ons nou in diese kaai, Kalbas se kind, boog se punt, gepaar met spies en skild. In die berge kathedraal is Khoikhoi en Amakasa bloed met inheems gam versoet. Nog skeep in Nederlands gehaak, kom die anker van die dryfse kaak, nog slaaf met hart geboei, in die Kaap is Asia en Oos-Wes-Afrika gestrooi. My tong is bedek met Engelse konteks en Nederlandse sweep, my rug gevou en vasgehou. Maar hier in die bloed van my bloed besef, gemaal uit Protea en Boegoe se vlees, kom die roepstem op asem gesweef. Kom tongtak graaf en Hottentots God, bid ons harte sterk en ontdooi die raad van oud. Kom haal my Brombosgrot se spook, kom soek my diepkloof gam se melk, klipdrif stampboom krom ontswyg my, en laat die eeuwe die wiegsaad beskryf. Aan die begin, van die begin, voor Kretua, Massawana, Ana, Hinsa of Shaka se kuns, op rots geverf, daar deur buite die greep van die kolonie, ver lank voor die wanhoop van apartheid se soom, die saak van kategorie en suiwer versuim, in die boek van bloed, inheems en uit, ek en jy gemeng, tot in die murg van Elsie's kraal, tot diep in die Blombos grot se saal. Amagam is here, Amagam, Gam, X-A-M. It means lion, by the way.
Can we make some more noise for Khadija Heeger, everybody? Okay, so housekeeping. Everybody go buy the book, man. The book is so quiet. The book is so quiet. Okay, besides these magnificent poets that you have seen here this evening, I just want to let you know whom else is in the book. We have also published, Vuyokazi Jonas, are you here? Where are you? Yes, Vuyokazi is in this book, guys. There's a poet called Kai Lo, who's currently in Thailand, that is in this book. James Matthews, one of the most revolutionary poets of our time, is in this book. Primrose Machwebe is in this book. Vuyokazi Ngemntu is in this book. Mongeni Nonkwamwana is in this book. Winslow Skalkwyk is in this book. Tony Stewart is in this book. Me, I am in this book. Buy the book. Have a good evening. Thank you, Open Book Festival. And buy the book, everybody.